How do you navigate layoff, cut-off, change, reorganization, no matter what level of leadership you have? A couple weeks ago, I sent something, I did a video on how to navigate layoff as a leader, and someone reached out like, yeah, I'm not leading a team, but it's also affecting me. So as an individual contributor, how can I lead, how can I manage and show up as a leader? So today I'm proposing in this video to give you a blueprint, a step by step, what to focus on, what skills are required for you to show up as a leader, whether you are an individual contributor, a new manager, a mid level manager, or even an executive. My name is Judith Glory, and as usual, it's a pleasure to be able to connect with you on Wednesday's leadership for a new leadership series or new video on leadership. Why am I stumbling on my words? Because production is reminding me to stop talking too much, just dive right in. So let's do that. My promise is before the end of the video, you will know, depending on your level, what to focus on, what skill to leverage to show up as a leader, and some pro tips what you need to be or do to show up as a leader, whether you are again individual contributor, a new manager or mid-level manager, or an executive. Is That's why I call it a blueprint, four-tiered blueprint, to help you no matter what is your level to show up as a leader. So, what's in the agenda? Well, essentially, we will go through the various tiers. First, starting with an individual contributor, layoff, reorg. It's a challenging time. It's painful, especially when you're affected. But even when you're not affected, when people leave, it's extra work. There's a lot going on between the stress and the emotional aspect and reorganizing to keep things going. How do you do that? As an individual contributor, a manager, a mid-level. So let's dive right in. Obviously, there's a lot to cover if we consider the fourth tier. And as you're watching the video, if this is something you like, if you like this format, because one thing did I say it, not sure did it. Um, on top of talking about what to focus on, the skills, um, it's also the answer to another request I got from someone going through layoff. Judith, I have LinkedIn Learning. There's some courses that you can recommend for the various things to help find that next thing. Are there some complete courses? This person has LinkedIn Learning. So I'm like, yeah, so I'll do that in my next video. This is particularly for you, Barbara. I think I'll tag you somewhere there. For each of the level, for each of the skill, I will make some recommendation on specific LinkedIn learning courses you can take. I'm not affiliated with LinkedIn. I just think there are some great courses out there. So if you have LinkedIn learning, why not leverage it? So now I'm live, so I cannot like directly go and edit the description, but after the live, I will ensure all the links mentioned that I will show you in the presentation that you can see them below. Hey, if you are LinkedIn Premium, if you have LinkedIn Learning, you can leverage. There's definitely a gold mine of resources and learning there. So, as I say, Barbara, this is for you. Skill and a type and one example of LinkedIn course that you can take to grow and develop that skill. And that's why I say, if this is something that you enjoy, if you want more of this, let me know so that in the next coming videos only I can share some of the things that you can get directly from LinkedIn. Um, I'm not selling for LinkedIn. I'm not affiliated. If you have access, leverage it. If you don't, it's for you to decide. So let's dive in. I am an individual contributor. Layoff reorg is happening. How do I navigate and continue to show up as a leader? My promise is strategies, what to focus on, key skills, and pro tips, what to focus on as you go through that reorg. Please, my slides, don't do that to me today. um, so we'll dive right the agenda. As I say, we'll go through skills one by one. Um, the individual contributor first, and then the new manager. And if you are a mid-level manager, and if you are a senior executive, what to focus on. So we will start right now with the individual contributor. How do you do that? Well, you've been responsible of you, just you alone, you and your results. And even though you've not been managing a team going through a change, layoff, transformation, reorg, brings a lot of uncertainty. Like for the last 3, 4 weeks, we've been talking about that, and there's a lot of anxiety associated to that. So you are an individual contributor, you're watching this and you wonder, how do I do that? And I wanted to start by saying layoff, reorg is a time that raises a lot of anxiety, but it's also a time that helps to test your resilience muscles, that help test how you show up. How do you respond in times of stress? How do you respond in face of challenge? How do you respond when there is anxiety and uncertainty? How do you respond to that? So I want to invite you to think about if there's reorganization going on, if you're part of a layoff or a redundancy program going on in your organization, well, take it like a time of test. Should it calm down? Even if we don't go through all the material, what needs to be said will be said, and those who benefit will benefit. So get center, cool down, and let's enjoy this moment. So the individual contributor, what to focus on? Well, it's a time I should really choose this image. I choose the specific one because it's a time that will call on your muscles of resilience, especially if you are affected by the layoff. We've been sharing since 2, 3 months, 3 weeks now. I've been talking about Rita, like she's affected. She's the person who is bringing food in her family. She has a family, she has a mortgage, all of that. And their job has been cut. So they had till the end of August. And we're working together like right now. We did the strategies I shared with you on how to negotiate extra time. It worked for her. So she's been extended till December, till the end of 2025. It's a win. But still, one thing that is sure, well, at the end of December, that job doesn't exist again in that organization. So, right now, in her day to day, she's passing projects, things she was working on to the other people who take over. That's real. So, this person, thank God, we could negotiate extra time, else she was supposed to be done at the end of last month, at the end of August. And it can happen. It can happen. And that's why the skill number one is resilience and taking care of you. It happens. And the most important thing, like really resilience, there's things that you can change, that you have control over, which is you. How you respond, I don't want to say react, how you respond to the layoff or to the redundancy. And that's why I keep saying it's kind of a moment of trial. Test your muscles of resilience, your muscles of knowing who you are, what you got. Because if you don't pay attention, anxiety, stress can just take a toll on you, your health, and your family. Hey, we've seen people who really struggle. Sometimes they stare down in their family because of a job situation. We don't want that to be you. It's a test and it'll pass. You'll not reign all the time. It's a time for resilience. It's a time for resilience. So if you are an individual contributor, one key thing I want to recommend to work on, to put your focus on, take care of you, know you, so that you can respond with power, so that you can bounce back, so that you can get ready for your next thing. Oh, my slides are still at the introduction. So this is how we'll go about doing it. And I was already talking about the individual contributor. Focus on taking care of you. Yeah, work on you. Resilience and confidence. Resilience and confidence, because even if you are on the list of people losing their job, doesn't mean that you are a failure. Has nothing to do with your skill. I will say and repeat it again and again. It's a decision of the organization, the leadership, for where we are here and now. Maybe we cannot afford, maybe we need to reduce, maybe the strategy is doing something else, or maybe to get this work done in another region. For example, when there was a lot of localization back to, say, Asia, doesn't mean that engineers or people who are doing the job here, they are not good. No, it's just a strategic position that the organization has taken. So if you are an individual contributor and you are part of a layoff, number one, has nothing to do about your skills. At the contrary, it's an opportunity for you to get grounded on who you are, what you got, who else out there need your brilliance. It might be an opportunity for you to land in a better place, a better job. So the key focus, if you're watching this, the key focus is take care of you, leverage your resilience muscles, and then get grounded on who you are and what you have. That's why in the past week, I've been talking so much about know yourselves, know you. Well, I said a lot of things about a professional 50 plus, but it's a reality. Whatever your age, at all times, it's good to know my skills of X. I use it to create Y results so that in Z environment, know those key things. What you have, what you do with what you have, and the kind of results you can offer, you can guarantee to any company that has you. Somewhere in here, I will ensure that the editors display the source, which is kind of a step by step that helps you identify what you have, what you can create, and the type of environment where those skills can make a difference. So as an individual contributor, these are the things to focus on. And I told you, why are those skills important? Because resilience will get you, you will continue. You'll not be kind of a downtime where you're just carrying yourself around, where everyone, your neighbors and family, is like, oh my God, what are we going to do with you? It's time for pause. Not like, oh, my life is over. Or as I heard someone saying, "Gee, this time around, they got my head." They are not after your head. It's just a decision. You handle you. And as we said in the portion of the webinar where we talked about the mindset, your perspective about what is going on will affect how you show up. If you really think that, oh my God, they got me this time around, wherever you go, people will see that on your face, on your posture. You behave as someone they've gotten your head. But if you feel like, okay, I didn't have the choice. This is happening. Time for me to realign, to readjust, and find something else. It's like, okay, it's raining. I cannot stop the rain, but what do I want to do when the rain stops? What do I want to do despite the rain? Which is the mindset to have. If you didn't watch the video, I'll put it somewhere down there for you to go and watch. Mindset is kind of everything. So the key skills I talked about for the individual contributor, resilience, and taking care of you. Taking care of you will allow you to bounce back, to adapt, to find new ways to reinvent. It's really time for you to understand the core thing you bring to the table, your source, your source, your source. I've been talking about the source. Know your source, leverage your source. If you don't, check the attachment, the workbook, or check the description and watch that video. Taking care of yourself would allow you to become aware, to realize and strategize your next thing, allow you to stand out. And I promise that for each of these, I would give you some recommendations on good courses on LinkedIn that can help you grow those ability. Again, disclaimer here, I told you I'm not an affiliate with LinkedIn. But I think if you're a professional and if you have access to LinkedIn Learning, there are lots of great resources there. I don't know if you're leveraging them. If you do, like this person who asked me, Judith, I have LinkedIn Learning. Are there things I can take from there? It's for those people that I'm proposing this list. Oh my God, the sun is driving me here. Can I run away from the sun? I'm going to try. So there's this exceptionally good thing on resilience that Sherry Sandberg did with Adam Grant. Let me show you. Um, it's a very, 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 very good course on resilience. So key things I said: resilience, know your brand, know what you bring to the table, personal branding, and managing your stress, taking care of you. What I call here pro tips as is Judith is saying a lot of things. But pro tips is like if there's one thing I want you to focus in doing, is that pro tip. Pro tip are also the things I've used with my clients in coaching and I've seen the difference it made. In the pro tips, I'm recommending things like keep a journal of your win. Even though we know that, okay, and I said it and I recommend it has nothing to do with you, but many times I'll hear people say, well, Judith, they didn't just lay off everyone. So if I'm among the selected to leave, so maybe definitely I'm not that good. If you don't pay attention, like losing your job can have a toll on your self-confidence. But keeping that win journal, a list of win, it will help you. It will help you. That's why if there's one thing, keep that list of your wins. Why? A list of wins shows, reminds you of the things that you have done. It's not something that will or history or that you feel I delivered on this project. I was actually the program manager on a project with a budget of 1 billion. I worked with people, engineers from 5 continents. You did this. It's you. So, and the more you write it down, the more you become aware, yeah, I actually did. It helps with that confidence. And the more you gather those details, the more kind of a thread can come up and you can notice, whoa, for real, yeah, there's a tendency. I'm good at this kind of project. I'm good at cross-functional. Maybe I'll take one real example. Me working on maybe on a low time in the coaching business. If you're watching this and you are a coach, you know that things can go up and down. And there are times you may have a lot of clients that you cannot take, and there are times when you have less clients. And if the times when you have less client is long, you may start to doubt. But this journal of win, it's really, really good. It can be something as simple as this. This is not exactly my journals of win, but it can be something like this, where you simply collect the things, the testimonies, the projects, the things that show your impact. And I was giving my example. There was a time, many months, where I had low clients. It was kind of seasonal thing, and I married that an impactful coach. But when I started to write down, okay, for the last 3 months, for the last 6 months, for the last year, wow, Judy, you've worked with Fortune 500. Yes, you've worked with this head of legal. You've worked with pharma. You've worked with people, Europe, APAC. And the more you list those things, the more you realize that, wow, yeah, I'm a top gun. I'm a premier coach. Yeah, I work with them. I can open my mail and show some messages. It's real, it's not the feeling. And as you keep that journal of your wins, it also makes you see the pattern. For me, it made me see I work a lot with people managing change, transition, disruption, VUCA, transformation in digital, which is exactly my space. So, keeping that journal of wins can help you see, realize, become aware of the impact you've had, which will contribute to the source we've been talking about, that you can leverage to find your next thing, but you also take care of that confidence. Even if this organization, this normal role for me, the person who created all that impact is still here and it's you. So, pro tip, Judy, come back to your slide and move fast, else you'll not finish today. Keep a journal of your wins. And when comes time, when you have a networking opportunity, when you discuss about the change, oh, what's going on? We heard this is happening, blah blah blah, and you're discussing with someone, and they give you an opportunity to pitch what you're good at, what you do. Don't forget to talk about numbers, numbers. Numbers will make you stand out. Numbers, know your numbers. What do I mean by numbers? Quantify your impact. Be able to talk about, I've led a team, or I don't know, 10, 800, 500, 10 people. I led a team of 20 engineers of diverse region. The numbers make a difference. If you introduce yourself as, I have been a project manager for 10 years, working on 7 projects of this many millions, it's different than saying, okay, I've been a project manager for 10 years. It's different when you start to say 10 projects of millions, teams of hundreds of engineers. Oh, okay. This is a project manager of another scale. And that's the power of numbers. Know your number, pitch your numbers, communicate your numbers. That's the thing I wanted to share in terms of LinkedIn courses. These are all the links that I'm gonna add below the description, but the specific one on resilience, that I encourage you to take the time and take it. It's well done, it's real. Do I have that excerpt here? I wanted you to share the excerpt so that you can see how good, how well done the course was. Can I please play?
True.
It works.
I thought I would never get through it. I was worried my kids would never be happy again. So I asked my friend Adam Grant, a psychologist, what could I do?
I knew from, watching other people that it was possible to find strength in the face of real hardship.
When I lost Dave, it felt like I was sucked into a void, like I couldn't quite breathe or think. And trying to get out of that void, to feel like you could breathe again, like you would one day, find joy, find happiness, find any sunshine, was an incredibly hard thing to do.
I think of resilience as the strength and speed of our response to adversity. So when something bad happens, big or small, how much are we able to overcome it? Or how well do we persevere in the face of it?
And I remember asking Adam, how much resilience do I have? How do I figure it out? How much do my kids have? And he said it was the wrong question. The question is not how much resilience you have, because there's not a fixed amount. You build resilience. So what I should be asking him is, how do I build resilience?
It's a skill set that we work on throughout our lives. It's something that we can build long before we face any kind of tragedy or difficulty. It's really about learning, what does it take for me to find strength in a tough situation, and then being able to apply those skills when they're most needed. Severe adversity brings real perspective, which is about finding appreciation and recognizing, my life could be worse, and realizing how fortunate you are to have the good things that you do in your life.
One of the things that really helped me recover the most, but was completely counterintuitive to me, is one day Adam said to me, things could be a lot worse. And I said to him, what do you mean things could be worse? I just lost my husband suddenly. Are you kidding? How could things be worse?
And the only thing I could think of was to say, Dave died of a cardiac arrhythmia, and he could have had that same arrhythmia while driving your children in the car.
And it never occurred to me I could have lost all 3 of them in an instant, not just one. And actually, the minute you say that, you're like, okay, I'm all right. Thank God my children are alive.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? If you're watching this and yeah, you're part of a redundancy, losing your job, things could have been worse. Things could have been worse. You're still here. You're watching this video. You're alive. And I'm sure you and your family, you had something to eat. You eat today, maybe for the next month. Things could have been worse. Wow, I recommend that course. It helped me at some point in my life, and the way it's done, you have seen the expert, you have seen the excerpt. It's a real thing, real story. We have not only real life story, but the science behind it is very well structured. So if you're watching this and maybe you're still making mourning your job that has been cut, go and take the course and see all the learning, how it clearly shows you how to build your resilience muscles. And did you also notice that on the corner it was like more than 15,000 courses? Give it a try. But definitely, this is one if you want to grow your resilience. Are you hearing this, Barbara? I'm thinking a lot about you. Yeah, we're working so that you can get something before December. But between now and then, build that resilience muscle. Things could have been worse, and one key, as you will discover in that course, is the gratitude. Being grateful for where you are today, what you have. The gratitude will cool down, will give you the strength to put one foot in front and one foot after the other. Before long, there you are launching again. Let's roll to the next category. How do you show up as a leader in the midst of layoff if you are a new manager? This is the next category. Again, as I promised, I just showed one except for the resilience, but I said as an individual contributor, resilience, self-care, branding, know what you have that can help you reinvent. Now, you are a new manager or you are first line manager, and maybe you had the difficult task to let people know their jobs were cut. You have the difficult task, maybe of saying this to more than one person. Not an easy thing to do. How do you do that in a way that shows support? The next category we'll be looking into is how to do that as a new manager and what to focus on. This is a space, a time that really calls for your skills of empathy and compassion. So, because um, even if you're not affected, you can feel it's like I've never seen someone being cut off from their job and still say, woohoo, I trust the company. No, in general, it's like, oh, I feel betrayed. I've given, these are real conversation I've had. Gosh, Judith, I gave 10 years of my life to this company. Or the person we've been talking about 20 years in a company and layoff happens and I'm on that list. How? Feels like my manager in general, it will go like my manager because we know the first person who fights for us is our manager. So, how can you as a manager show up in this kind of situation? It's time for compassion. It's time for empathy. It's time, as I say, for you to be more a listener and take into consideration all the emotions involved here. It's really time for you to show compassion, exponential compassion. You understand the frustration, you understand they can feel the pain, you understand they can feel anxiety, and you allow space for that. That's why if you're watching this, you are a manager and you have to accompany your people through this. I recommend really focusing on the communication, empathetic, a lot of empathy in the communication, and find a way to maintain trust. I said something about when it happens to you, you feel betrayed. You feel betrayed by your organization, you feel betrayed by your leadership. And it is time where you will exercise your muscles. What can you do? How can you show up in such a way that trust stays, even if they're leaving the company? Authenticity. and truth is the way to go. Not trying to hide things, like keep it real with compassion, because research shows that authenticity opens the door to trust. When you keep things real, when you are a leader that people trust, in general layoff reorg, especially when you have to go, it's like, oh. But when you are a leader that is honest, when you can have truthful conversation with your people, you say the real things, you don't hide things for them from them, you keep that trust. So it's time for you to empathize, authentic communication, but also be there to help manage the emotion, the pain, and whatever is going on with your direct report, to even validate that it is normal that they feel betrayed. Allow space for that. Don't shut them down. I understand. And communicate in such a way, I'm with you. That's why, like a couple weeks ago, we did that webinar on how you can show up and continue. You can continue to support someone losing their job even if they're leaving the company, and we showed how. I will put a link below. It's really time, if you're first manager or first line, front line, compassion, authentic communication, empathy, and compassion. Make space to help process whatever is going emotionally for them. This is what I recommend for you. And it sounds something like saying the real thing. Um, Helping them, take care of them, acknowledging the pain, the anxiety. Did I share the example of someone, maybe not sure, but when they've been cut off, and then another manager, not even their direct manager, reach out. Hey, I know how things are for you. I know the situation with your family. I know that you are the main breadwinner, the person putting the food on the table. And it wasn't, it shouldn't, I'm sure it's not easy for you. What? When you say that to someone and it's how they've been feeling, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel this is someone who gets what is going on with me. That's the way to go as a new manager or first line or frontline manager. Acknowledge it's tough. Acknowledge it's a hard place to be. Offer help, offer help. And I say again, if you didn't watch that video, please go and check it, because we gave some example, concrete examples, where you don't just say, oh, okay, have you checked your package? You make time on your agenda, you ask them if everything is clear, you clarify any question they may have, you offer your network, you open your network. Is there anything I can help you? I told you the example of someone who made time on their agenda to help tweak the resume of someone who was losing the job, and be willing, giving them recommendation, showing support, showing I'm here for you. And as I'm talking about this, I remember the movie Company Man. Oh, I can actually do a video on that. Well, if you watch the video, the person who calls, who reaches out, who invites the main character for a meal, later on gives a list of people he can reach out. This is what we want you to do. Show the person losing their job, I'm here. Even though it's a decision, I'm here for you. And if there's anything I can do to help you bounce back, to help you find your next thing, to help you learn, because I believe in you, you're brilliant and you can create impact elsewhere, that's the way to go. And in terms of John Maxwell leadership, that's you showing up as a leader of level 4 who goes beyond production to invest in another leader. Because you're not just thinking about investing to get a result in the organization you're leading, but you see the person, what they could be even outside your organization. And you want them to grow and expand and be the best they can be. outside, even if not working with you. That's another level, but that you can. And that little call, that sharing resources, that introduction, that networking thing that you will do for your direct report goes a long way. So, quick tips. Are there some recommendations in terms of LinkedIn courses that you can take in order to demonstrate and grow those skills: compassion, honesty, trust, managing your own stress and the stress of others, and creating a safe space for them to open up, to talk. These are the courses I have found. Some of them I have taken. The course of Marlene Chisholm is a very good one, because in this place you will have kind of a very courageous conversation. It's not easy. There's also this other course from Christopher Connors. Yes. I couldn't have an excerpt for the previous one, but these are great courses that will help you with how to have those difficult conversations. It's not easy. It is so common. I have them a lot now, or when there were a lot of cutoff in the tech world. Jesus, I don't know how to tell these people that their job is over, but you have to do so. You are responsible for that conversation, and you need to find a way to do it with compassion. The course I mentioned from Marlene can help you do that. The other one, the second one that I mentioned from Christopher, will help you with managing emotions, your emotions, and the emotions of your direct report. Again, I want to insist on the pro tips. As I said before, if there's one thing I want you to remember as a manager is in this space, really what to focus on is to listen more than you speak. It's painful. So make the space to receive them as they come with the anxiety, emotion, pain, and sometimes tears. Just being there, this supportive leader who understand, who is compassionate, who can feel where they're coming from, will go a long way. Will go a long way than someone who just shuts down, who doesn't want to deal with the pain and emotion, just gives the information and disappear. That's why the pro tip I'm giving here: listen more than you speak. Create a safe space. Make them feel okay to come and talk to you, to talk their frustration. It's beneficial even for you, which is one thing. I don't know if we'll cover it in this video or another one. The exit discussion. When people are leaving the company, you can learn so much. They can give you so much good feedback that can help transform your leadership, but you will never get that juicy and good feedback if you don't create a safe space where they can actually say what is going on, how they feel, what could have been better. A very constructive conversation can happen when you create that space. So, pro tip: if you are a manager, layoffs going on in your organization, listen more, speak less, validate feelings, and be a supportive resource. I'm told I have less than 15 minutes to complete this. We still have two categories. How do you handle this if you are a mid-level manager, which is where we are going next? Mid-level will be like a director, senior manager, depending the company you're working in, meaning you are managing manager and you're kind of in the middle between the strategy and those who execute, those who do the work here. Here, things are happening. There's a new direction that the organization is going. And the change, the layoff, the cut of the reorg is for a reason. As the middle level, you really need to do a great job of translating the new vision to those who are staying or those who are going. beyond the compassion and all the rest, like being able to keep the strategic aspect, to keep the focus on what needs to continue to go. Yeah, people are losing their job, but the company needs to continue to deliver results. The transformation, the layoff, or the reorg was for one reason, and that reason should be clear to all those who remain. And in a lot of reorg, or for a lot of leaders I have worked with, that translation often is not clear. And because it's not clear, all the uncertainty, the question, and all the talk going on down here, it doesn't help. Um, so you can help make things clear for everyone by understanding and communicating clearly down the new direction and doing, giving, providing what it takes so that strategic decisions that need to be made are made easily. That's why I entitled the focus for the mid-level leader is to guide team through the ambiguity, or the new thing, getting clear what is the new thing happening, what is the new direction the company is going to. I also mentioned something about change management and adaptability beyond the layoff, the raison d'être, as we say in French, la raison d'être, the raison d'être of the organization, of this change, of this transformation needs to carry on. Yeah, people are laid off, they'll lose their job 1, 2, 3, 6 months. In about a year, nobody will be talking about layoffs again. But the layoff, the reorg happened for one reason. As a middle level manager, you need to ensure that in the midst of all the anxiety, managing the people, the new structure, I like to say, yeah, it's so easy to say, yeah, I'm going, I'm losing, they got my head. But even for those remaining, it's tough. Imagine if your team has been cut in two. You need to basically do the job of two people. How do you do that? As a middle level manager, it's your job to help people staying to get clear on the strategy, on the organization, on what the team, those who are remaining, need to focus on. Because if that one is not clear, those who remain will struggle as well. So, if that is your focus, what are the key things you need to get clear on? Your strategic communication. Help keep the focus on the key things that we still need to deliver on. Strategy, be able to translate the strategy into actionable information is really key here. And there also be a lot of skills around change management, helping the teams to manage the change, the new structure, the new priority, the new focus. And it's easier when the vision is clear and clearly communicated, clear for everyone, which is something that is missing. So you are a director or a mid-level manager. There's change, there's layoff, there's reorg, fusion, and acquisition. Can you get clear on where the new leadership want to go? What does that mean in terms of action for those who are remaining? Ensure you know that and communicate that to the teams that are remaining. Strategy, communication, and adaptability. Communicate the change in such a way that you bring people in, that people adopt the new change, that the people feel part, that it's not just there versus down, that it becomes we are going in this new direction. So I mentioned the key skills here are strategic, turning strategy into actionable information, the focus, and leading teams through the change, the new structure, the new reorg. So here are some LinkedIn courses that can help you with those skills. Yes, yes, yes. I know I have 10 minutes to get out there. There are some great courses. I mentioned change management, strategic planning, leading with agility, which is a key thing. It's a very, very important skill in these times in the organization. Your ability to adapt. your ability to adapt. And in terms of pro tips, again, look at what is circled in pink below here. If you are a middle manager, identify key talents, people you can lean on for this change or this transformation. As a middle manager, these are key things, pro things that will make handling, leading in this time much better or easier. Who are the key players you can lean on for this change and this transformation? Are you yourself clear on the objective, the key things that you need to make happen so that the change, the transfer, the layoff, the new direction, the disruption, whatever you want to call it, so that it goes well? Because when you understand it clearly, it'll be easy for you to communicate it. What is the clear vision? Who are the key people? And then priorities, communicate your priorities. So these are the key things to focus. I feel like even if I cover the slides, you are a mid-level manager, transformation is happening. What was the reason for the layoff? What is this new direction that we're going to? What are the key elements that will say success, that will say the change, the transformation, the new direction is effective? Who are the key people you can lean on to ensure that transformation, that change lands well? And are you setting those key priorities for them, helping them, giving the resource to these key people for them to achieve the change? These are the key things to focus on. As you focus on that, you will help make the life of people reporting to you easier, and you will be aligned with your leadership, and you will navigate the change, the cut, whatever you call it, in an effective way. Now we have still one level to go and about 9 minutes to do so. Uh, Again, as I promised, the links. There are great courses here. A very good one on change management by Scott, and then Mike Leo, who also does a very good course in strategic planning. So I'm gonna put all these links as promised below the video after the live. This brings us to the last category of people, which are the executive, the person at the top, those who made the decision, those who are leading the organization. How do you lead and show up in terms of layoff, cuts, or reorganization? Hey, I propose that you lead with ethics and vision during period that one may call crisis. It's not easy. We've been talking about that again and again. And sometimes being maybe the person leading the organization, you don't want to, it's not a joy to have, I don't know, newspapers and everything around the news just be talking about how there are this many thousands or hundreds of people being laid off. It's like, oh my God, this person failed with their leadership. How could they let this happen? Imagine the impact on the families. That's why I propose, if you are an executive, this is your organization, lead with ethics and with vision in time. Yeah, it can be called in times of crisis because nobody likes that. But if it's a decision made for the company to continue, it's a decision. Now, is that decision made with ethics? It's an answer that you alone can take. My offer is that if you are at that level, lead with compassion, make your decisions with ethics, and keep being the visionary. What makes me say these are the key things that at that level you should focus on? Because a compassionate decision making will help with your brand reputation, with the future loyalty, like how people will perceive your company. As you make that decision when you are in this hot board meetings, when you're discussing with the senior leadership team, don't keep don't forget to keep in mind that there's a life after that decision. What do you want the reputation of the company to be? And whatever is being said, does that align with who you want to be, with the reputation you want for your company, with the impact you want to have for your end users of your products and services? It's good to keep that in mind, and make decisions with compassion. Why? Because depending on how you handle and make those decisions and communicate that vision, it will affect the after layoff, the after restructuration. It will affect the loyalty. Do you want to be an organization that goes through layoffs and cuts? And after, nobody wants to stay in that organization because they feel like, ooh, the vision of this organization is not what it used to be, which are the things I hear in coaching often. The new leadership, like their values doesn't do not align with who I am, with why I choose to work for this organization. So I'm really inviting you, if you're watching this, um, yeah, there's a tough decision to be made, but how do you make the decision in such a way that after you continue to stay aligned to the vision and mission of the organization, so that people who like your brand, who like your organization, they feel like even if this decision has been made, what they value, what they are about, the end result still aligns with who I am as an employee. I will continue to work for this organization. Keep that in mind when making the decision. And when the decisions have been made, how do you communicate the new direction, the new vision in such a way that it keeps your employees, those who are staying, those who invest in your company, those who trust in your company, those who use your product to stay loyal? These are key things to think about. And that's why when I work with people at this level, I always like to offer the question, okay, this decision, this position that you think you want to take 3, 5, 10 years from now, is this what you want to be said, written in journals about you? Would you be happy when they're celebrating your retirement to say, oh, in this year, this person made this decision and this was the impact? And in general, especially the question around retirement, yes. Okay. You can hear a yes with peace and calm. It's okay. It aligns with who they want to be. But if the answer is not yes, can you tweak it? Can you tweak it? Because the vision, the decision will have an impact. And when you're clear about that impact, what on the way you communicate that new vision, that new direction in such a way that it keeps your troops, it keeps your people, it keeps your investor motivated. You want to focus on having a clear future. You want to focus on rebuilding trust. You want to focus on the attitude, behavior that will inspire confidence in the new normal, clarity in the new vision, and building trust. Clarity is very essential and it's lacking sometimes. Being able to clearly tell to the board, to your senior leadership, like this, we made this decision, this is where we are going, being clear on where we are going, be clear on what is in it for all those people who are following you is essential. um, and if you're clear on that, are there those who have to execute, those who have to bring that new vision to life? Is it also clear for them? So clarity in communicating the vision and then rebuilding trust. I will not lie, especially when the layoff cut, it's like a scale. A lot of people, there's a lot of trust rebuilding to be done. So what do you do? What would you bring to the table? How would you be? What would you put in place to rebuild that trust and still continue to instill confidence in those remaining, all the people using your brand? These are the key things I thought at that level you could focus on. And what are some LinkedIn learning courses that can help you with that? I found a very good course from Bill George. I will send the link below. Like leading in crisis, it's good. It's good. I also had something about VUCA world. VUCA is like volatile and yeah, unstable. Well, we talk a lot about VUCA in IT world. It's a world where you have complexity, you have change, it's really volatile, it changes a lot. So how can you stay and lead effectively in this kind of world where things are changing fast and there's a lot of complexity to work with? This beautiful course of Sarah is Sarah Canade. She's a great leader. Go and check her on LinkedIn. Yeah, so that's another very good one that if you can, well, go for it. I will send a link below. Yeah, I'm asked to leave. Pro tip here, be transparent and present. Be transparent and present. I've been saying communicate clarity on the vision, communicate it in a clear way, simple, easy way, and then true. We've talked about rebuilding trust. It takes authenticity, true, be real. So be present, be transparent, be real, and own the choice. I love this one, own, because sometimes we hide behind the board hat. You were part. So no matter what decision at the C level, well, you're part of it. You cannot say there. No. So own that decision and communicate honestly, transparently. I mean, a lot of people would prefer you say that we needed to do the cut for, I don't know, to be able to pay back the investors or to the real thing so they really know what is happening than hiding to say it there. Own the decision and communicate a new direction with compassion. Honesty and truth will get more results than trying to hide, especially in times where you need to rebuild trust. Trust has been broken with your employees, but also with the end users, those who use your services and product. This is my offer. I'm curious to know what you think before getting out of here. In 2 minutes, a quick summary of what we talked about. Um, Essentially, we started this video with the promise, with a question on how you show up as a leader, no matter your level of leadership. Layoffs, reorg, restoration, disruption, transformation is going on in a lot of organization. How do I handle it as an individual contributor, a manager, a mid-level manager, or an executive leader? And we said, depending on the level you find yourself in, these four categories, things to focus on are different. As an individual contributor, resilience and taking care of you. Exercise your muscles of resilience. You cannot change the decision, especially if you're affected, but you can change how you respond. So one day at a time, we saw the example of Sherry Sandberg. Well, things could have been worse, but here you are. You still have your job, your brilliance, your impact, the results, the project, the skills, they are there with you. So focus on resilience, taking care of you so that you can easily bounce back. And I send a link for the courses. If you are a manager, we say the focus was listen more and create, allow the space to handle the emotions of people affected, but also to be that supportive manager they can lean on, who fights for them so that they get the maximum, who supports them, who extends his network and other resources he may have to help these people find the next thing. If you are mid-level, get clear on the strategy so you can communicate it to the teams, because alignment focus to ensure things get done. And if you are an executive, vision, and clarity and honesty is the way to go. Let me know in the comment what you think. If it was helpful, it was a pleasure being part of this, and I can't wait to hear what you tried, how it worked. Don't hesitate to hit me with a question or something to help you grow your leadership, because this year is all about